for a month because of a test-demic. And we see on social media pictures of all the home makeovers and the gardening and all the rest that's been done by these people who are too ill or rather forbidden to go to work and earn a living. And of those who have symptoms and go for a test, last year you would have went to bed with a lemon sip and a hot whiskey. But the good news is that despite the test-demic, the deaths from this infection, thank God, are flatlined. There is no excess mortality. That hasn't been, it's exactly the same as it's been over the last 5 years. There's less than 1/10 of the COVID-related deaths that we saw at the height of the infection. Bed occupancy for COVID cases in the UK are 96% below their peak. And yet, as our local medics breathlessly tell us, the hospitals are like breaking point and like a war zone. This is October. It's always like that. Does anybody remember the flu epidemic of 2017-18 when there was chaos, ambulances queued outside a casualty, people lying in corridors? They have short memories. Furthermore, this is interesting, I've been watching the NHS daily dashboard, and has anybody noticed that there are 1,200 fewer hospital beds in the north of Ireland than there were in April? They seem to have vanished, and I think again that is because of this ludicrous social distancing stuff that's going on in hospitals, which means it's not possible to deliver care the way that we've done it for decades. This is planned disruption. And then, what's making things indescribably worse this year, again, the test mantra, where significant proportions of the nursing and medical staff are being forced to self-isolate because of positive tests, even without symptoms. Not a day for a long speech. It's important that you realise this test is flawed. Up to 90% when there's low community infectivity, up to 90% of these tests can be false positives. It takes, this PCR test was invented by a man called Kari Smullis, and he said, it is not a diagnostic test, it's not a test, he said, it's a process, a manufacturing process. It doesn't tell you, it takes an RNA-based sequence and multiplies it thousands, millions of times, and without reference to the number of amplification cycles gives a binary positive or negative result. And we know that at 60 cycles, every single test is positive, and that above 30 cycles, the person is deemed non-infective. And yet, in the private sector, and again, the opportunity for insider trading that we have from this Tory government, who is handing £100 billion, we're told, into the private sector, away from an NHS which is on its knees, to their cronies in the pharmaceutical industry and in the university. I'm sure many of you know that the brave doctors who are standing up in their tens, in their hundreds, in their thousands all over the world are at risk of losing their jobs and their livelihoods. We see people like Marcus de Bruin and Martin Feely and Pat, the boy from Derry, whose second name escaped him, Pat Morrissey, who are being sanctioned for speaking out. But I have my moles all